So there are some manga out there that you have no idea if they are going to be good or not when you start reading them, and Magilumiere Co Limited is one such manga. This is a series that I knew nothing about before I started reading it. I just knew it was a modern magical girl manga, but that was it. But once I started reading it, I realized what made this manga series so good. So let's get talking about that. But before doing that, it would be awesome if you find yourself liking this video to leave a like on this video and maybe subscribe as well, as it would help out a lot. But anyway, let's get back to the video. This manga is very unique as it has a very different take on magical girls than what we normally see from anime. Typically in anime, there are two types of magical girl series. You are either like Sailor Moon with its cute aesthetic and empowering themes, or you are like Madoka Magica, an extremely dark and edgy story. However, Magilumiere is none of these things. Firstly, the so-called magic in the series is heavily rooted in science. You have to create the magic using technology first before it can be used in the field. This series also has a very different aesthetic from most of the series like this. It doesn't have that shoujo-like quality to it like most other magical girl series. Instead, it has a more shonen style to it. Of course, that makes sense considering this is a shonen, but the different style and aesthetic sets it apart from its contemporaries and makes this manga very unique. I also like how it isn't just a small group of people who are or can be magical girls. Instead, any girl can dream of becoming a magical girl as there are so many different companies out there that specialize in the magical girl business. This is another really unique aspect of this series as we get to see lots and lots of magical girls together and more people wanting to become magical girls, which is really cool. Most people find their jobs to be boring and meaningless, and to some extent, they are probably right. However, if you see someone at your job who is excited to be there and loves what they do, then that is fine. They have found a purpose for their work and continue to do it out of love and passion, and that is exactly the type of people that the main characters in Magilumiere are. They have all found a purpose in their work and they all work extremely hard because they love their jobs and the company they work for. I wish I could say the same. But this story has helped me to try and search for a meaning and a purpose and to hopefully one day be able to find a purpose in the job I do every day. Finding out where you belong is never an easy thing. For some people, they are content just doing what they do every day with barely any changes to the mundane. Others always need to be pursuing something, and others just want a place where they feel like they belong. Finding a good community is never easy, and Magilumiere goes out of its way to tell you that. We see the struggles that the characters go through to find a place to belong. Eventually, they all come together and realize that their job is their community and it is where they belong. Now, for most people, that might sound really sad, but in this manga, the company the characters all work for is a really close-knit group of friends. They're colleagues, yes, but they're also very close friends. They have all found a place where they can be themselves and express themselves however they want, and that is awesome. The friendship of the characters extends outside of just the main company we follow. Kana especially has befriended so many people outside of her company and has been able to make so many friends who are willing to help her out in a moment of need. Having those friends is always awesome, but finding those friends isn't easy. You need to be able to open up to these people and to be able to help them out whenever they need it as well. It is a struggle to get to the point where you feel like you are a reliable person and where you have reliable people around you, but Kana has definitely managed to do that by just being very friendly and opening up to people. This series has some really unhinged comedy in it, but it is hilarious at times. The comedy comes off the backs of how well the characters get along with each other. All of the characters feel like genuine friends like I mentioned, and that just adds to the comedy of this manga. They do a really good job at making the characters make really stupid statements or dumb remarks, and it all just makes the series really fun. But the better part of the manga is for sure the action. There's some really good action in this manga. I like how the series ramps up the threat level of enemies based off of where we are in the story. It leaves the enemies feeling fresh and it makes the characters constantly have to struggle and grow with each battle. But the boost in enemy strength is never to the point where you feel like they are unbeatable and the series has to pull something out of its ass. Instead, we get this really good system where the enemies are tough to leave us entertained and to make the characters struggle, but not so hard that it feels like an ass pull that our main characters won, and that is what made this story so good so far. The art in this manga is so good. I have seen what the anime is going to look like and it is not going to do the art justice. The art is just insane. Especially the designs of the enemies and the magical girl designs as well. Those are some really cool and super unique designs, but the art style itself is just so cool and really helps to carry the series to the next level. The mangaka has done an amazing job at adding in a really cool art style that fits really well with the manga that is being written. The character writing in this manga is so good. I have found myself liking every single character in some way as the series has gone on. All of the characters have had growth in their own ways that have made the manga really compelling and interesting to continue. And the character interactions, even outside of the comedy, are so good. Everyone feels like real friends and colleagues, and you can really feel how much each and every one of them cares for each other in the series. Kana is a great protagonist in this story. She is pretty ordinary all things considered, with the exception of one thing that really helps her out a ton both on and off the field, which is her insane memory. She can read something once and instantly have it memorized. She can then take that information and relay it to her allies out on the field. She has this ability to just instantly know what to do and formulate plans of attack and be ready. And she can apply her book smarts in the real world, and that is an invaluable skill that she holds. The other main characters are really interesting too. Some of them haven't had as much development, but they have always just been really awesome characters from the start, like Koshigaya. We got a backstory for her, but her character hasn't really changed all that much. Shigemoto is a really interesting character, however. He has this really crazy backstory that we are slowly getting pieced together as the manga has gone on. He has so many connections that it has made you wonder throughout the series who he really is. At the beginning of the series, you think he is just the goofy cross-dressing boss of Magilumiere. But as more gets revealed about his character, we realize that he is actually just a pretty tragic character. But he continues to fight for what he believes in, and he has a dream that must be fulfilled at all costs. Shigemoto has had a lot of development in the fact that he has started to open up and trust his subordinates more than he did at the beginning of the series. Not that he didn't always, but he was more closed off in the beginning. The rest of the cast is also awesome. Magilumiere has made really great characters that can be really funny at times, but also go through all their own character growth. Then, outside of Magilumiere, we have a couple of other Magical girls as well as some of the CEOs, which make for a pretty interesting cast of characters. The characters are the best part of the series, followed very closely by the action and the story the manga tells. Magilumiere Co Limited is such an interesting manga series. I had a blast reading the series all the way through until I caught up. I was always invested in what was going on and wanted to continue to see what was going on with the series as it progressed. So I definitely recommend giving this manga a try, and if you don't want to read the manga, then check the anime out whenever that comes out, as I'm sure that'll be great as well.